Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Did you miss a show? Download the podcast now.
Hey, it's Alayna J. So yesterday, Kat was at her son Liam's flag football game, and somebody pooped their pants? My fiance's son, Avery, shoved a rock up his nose, and it got stuck. So what got stuck for you? And who's the smartest girl in the world? JJ has a new contest, and let's just say it doesn't play out the way he thinks it's going to play out. All of this plus so much more is coming up in the Playhouse Podcast, which starts now.
How we living, cats?
Good. Had a great night. Went to watch my kid play football.
Yeah.
And he just killed it. It was awesome to
You
watch.
having a good time doing this,
he
huh?
is loving it. And then went out to Los Artices for some Mexican food after. But there was a play where it's flag football, but the kids get so jazzed that they're like hitting each other and taking each other down.
Really? They'll let them tackle?
They don't let them.
Oh, they fall.
They're like, stop it, guys, stop it. But they just like, in the middle of a play, you want to get the flag or whatever. So these two kids come after this one kid. He's got the ball. He's running down. He's running for the touchdown. And they take him down. And then all of a sudden you're like,
oh, no.
all of us were like, what's that smell? What's that smell? And then this kid, Gavin, that took this other kid down, he goes, I think this guy pooped his pants. Yelled it out. The other kid starts crying, runs away. He didn't poop his pants because he came back in the same pants. And so, unless he took his underwear off.
Yeah, you never just...
They literally knocked the crap out of him if that was the thing. But it smelled so bad.
You could smell it from the sidelines?
Yes. We were like 20 feet away, and the air just went whoo, right at us.
Boy, it takes a powerful human duke.
I was blaming my father-in-law because I was like, I wasn't even going to say anything, and all of a sudden, all these people around us were like, what's that smell? Gavin's like, I think this kid pooped his pants. It was very funny.
And well, that poor kid that was so embarrassed, he decided to run away crying.
Yeah.
And the only thing you could do is to add to the embarrassment by tell tens of thousands of people about it on the radio.
I didn't say his name.
What is your problem?
There are hundreds of kids in this Becker youth football program, so go ahead and take your pick as to who it was. But
what does his name rhyme with?
I have no idea. I don't know that kid.
Schmoey?
No.
Okay.
No.
Schmaden?
So yesterday, we're getting done with the show, and I look at my phone, and I see that I have like 10 text messages from my fiancée, Melissa, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Because she's not that type of person, to text a bunch of times with no response. So I check out my texts, and I see, oh my gosh, we might have to take Avery to the ER. And I'm like, oh crap, what's happening? What could go wrong? Because he's getting ready to go to daycare. And so I give her a call immediately, and I'm like, what's happening? Why do we need to take Avery to the ER? And she's like, everything's fine now. He decided to put a rock in his nose.
Classic.
And I'm like,
classic kid move, though.
And I'm like, well, where did he find this rock? And she's like, I think it might have been in his shoe, from the playground, and it was in his room. And apparently she saw him start to put it in his nose, and she goes, Avery, don't do that. And he did it anyway.
Looked her dead in the soul and did it anyways.
Got it stuck. So she tried using tweezers, which pushed the rock even more so into the nose. And then she did some, research on Google and was able to have him, kind of like push it out.
Farmer blow.
Yeah. And so...
Snot rocket, we used to call it back in the day.
So we were all good. Didn't have to go to the ER. But what got stuck?
Cat, whatever got stuck.
Nothing for me, thankfully. I can't wait for yours. But I had 2 trips that I had to take with my mom, with my little brother, Michael, who I had this Lisa Frank bead set and all types of sizes.
Translate, is that a rich kid thing?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
And so I left it out in my room, and he was like 3 years old, went in, got a huge bead, shoved it up his nose. So we had to take him to Dr. Blankenship, whose son was my crush, okay? So we go.
Here's my not psycho family, everybody.
Yeah. And I don't know if HIPAA was around back then, because I go to school the next day. Hey, my dad had to get a bead out of your brother's nose. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And then the next night, another trip to Dr. Blankenship, 2 days in a row.
Nice.
And then my mom's like, he's going to start thinking I'm not around. I'm not watching my 3-year-old.
You weren't.
Yeah, he wasn't. So I had to start putting, it was my fault. It was my fault all of a sudden because I had
up, rich girl.
My beads in my room stay out of my room. That's what it boiled down to.
Alayna, you ever got anything stuck?
My tongue got stuck to a pole. I did the whole...
You did a Ralphie.
I did, yeah, because I didn't believe it was true. I didn't think that it could really happen. So we're getting ready to go to church, and my sisters and I were outside waiting to get in the car. My parents are inside, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to check this out. I'm going to, try it out. And yeah, you do get stuck.
Yep.
It happens. So I'm sitting there, freaking out. My little sister runs into the house. My mom had to come out with hot water, pour it on my tongue.
Oh my God.
And then we were late for church, so I got...
That was the worst, right?
Yeah.
So not only are your parents mad at you, but so is Jesus.
Yeah,
Right?
pretty much.
Bad day for Alayna.
I think Derek did that one day. It was winter out front here at the station. We had to run up some warm water. He did it for a video.
As an adult.
He's like, anything for my craft. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Don't do that again.
What a numbnuts.
yeah.
All right. I can do you one better. I don't just make stupid moves, but I draw a certain type of person in to make stupid moves with me. I'll tell you how I got someone else stuck and completely ran away from the situation if you tell me about yours. The question is, what got stuck? Brandy, how we feeling?
Good, good.
What'd your son get stuck?
So when my son was about 3, he came to me crying with this red substance coming from his nose. I thought it was blood. I freaked out. Come to find out, it was a red M&M. We could not get it out, no matter how hard we tried. We had to wait for it to melt and run down the back of his throat, and he ate it.
Ew. So did you do anything
instead of-
to get it to melt? Like, did you put like a blow dryer up
Nope.
his nose? No? Okay.
Nope, melted on his own, and he goes, I'm like, what? Yeah.
Just dripping right down the throat.
Did you find out what the thought process was to get the M&M up there in the first place?
He was 3. He's a kid. I don't know. They put things up their nose, and then another time it was a Lego arm from those little Lego people.
Yes.
Up the nose again?
Up the nose again. Different nostril this time, though.
I had a weird
Alternate.
news story a while back where this kid finally got the Lego out of his nose that was up there for 2 years. His family had no idea.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he had some breathing issues, but they were like, maybe it's allergies. But he had a Lego piece in his nose. The knees way far up there for 2 years.
Problem is when you don't have anyone to play with and you just start getting creative and you're like, what it does is when you play the game of does it fit, it ends up to leading you in a career of being on the radio like Kat. And next thing you know, you're good to go. Thanks, Brandy. Have a good rest of the day. All right.
Yep. You too.
Is it Janessa or Janisa?
Janessa.
Janessa, same kind of thing, huh?
Yep.
But something different up the nose. What was it?
Mini chocolate chips.
Say it again.
They're
What?
so delicious. The mini chocolate chips.
Oh, mini chocolate chips. Okay.
Yep.
So did you have to
Yep,
wait for
so
it
they
to
just
melt?
waited. Yeah, that's what they did.
And was it a delicious chocolatey goodness down the back of your throat when it was all over?
I'm sure. It was actually my best friend's niece that did it.
Oh, but the word spread so far that your best friend's niece, you found out about the mini chocolate chips up the nose, huh?
Yeah.
How did that go down? She's like, hey, you have a nose. Get over here. And then she just shoved it up your nose?
No, she did it to herself.
Oh. Okay.
Cat's not following. It's not a big deal. And how long ago was this?
Probably about a couple months ago.
All right. Good fresh story. Thanks. I appreciate it, Janessa.
Yep.
Did Alayna, have I told you the story about when I took my clinicals? I had an EMT class in high school, and we had to do our clinicals. And the doctor in the emergency room was the son of the guy who was teaching the class. And so we all went in for an overnight at a really, really metropolitan hospital. And one of the things that came in that night was a young man who had not one, but 2 Matchbox cars up the no-go spot. And he nobody was asking him how they got up there.
Did he ever look at you guys like, are you judging me?
Well,
like that kind of look?
So part of the problem is the doctor first goes in and says, hey, we have a couple of students that are observing. Is that all right? And I don't know about you guys, but if I got 2 Matchbox cars stuck up my butthole, that is a strong no on every answer to can somebody that I don't know who's going to be super immature come in here and start wandering around that spot.
I think that might be a let's see if it works itself out type of thing.
I don't know.
Wait a couple days.
Dude was in some serious pain, though.
Yeah.
He was squirming hard. And when they took the x-ray, there it was. 2 Matchbox cars, man. $14 worth of molded steel right up in there.
Jeez.
Now.
Have you ever been in that spot?
No, that is a...
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't care how hot she is.
Yeah.
If she was ever like, let's see if we can get a Matchbox car up there. No, that's just never an
option.
option.
We got it. What about another one?
And some guys might be that adventurous, and good for you. And I hope you're comfortable with your choices. That's just nothing that's ever going to happen on my watch. Now, if I'm old and maybe I really don't know what's going on anymore, and she's a really hot nurse at the old folks' home, she's like, hey, have you ever tried a Matchbox car?
That's the scenario, huh? That'll get you?
I don't know. I mean, if the Cubs game is starting a little bit late, rain delay, I don't have anything else to do, dinner not for a couple hours.
What about the phone charger in the pee hole? That's a classic one.
All right. So I got to tell you guys what I did to my sister. So
what kind of segue
wrong
is
segue.
that?
It's going back to the what got stuck situation.
Okay.
And it's a wrong segue.
All
It's
right.
still then. So my mom and dad would always have Thursday night bowling, right? And I don't know, I was 5, 6, maybe 7. For some reason, I decided I was going to lick the frost out of the inside of the freezer like Alayna did. But we had one of these old freezers, and the shelves were all metal. So I just I stuck my tongue to it. I didn't know what was going on. And I panicked, so I ripped my tongue off. Like I pulled back.
Yeah.
And it kept a layer of my tongue, and I was bleeding hard, right? And my sister comes in to the bathroom as I'm, like, bleeding into the sink. What'd you do? I'm telling Mom. I'm like, actually, it's not that bad, and it tastes really good. I convinced her to stick her tongue on the freezer in the same spot. And babysitter, MIA. No,
Yeah.
I don't know where she was.
Talking to boyfriend.
But I got her stuck, and when I realized she was stuck, I knew I was in big trouble. So I bounced, man. I was gone. And all I could hear was my baby sister crying from the downstairs freezer, screaming her head off. God. So they had to call my mom and dad. So this babysitter had no idea what to do. She might have been 10, 12, whatever. She calls my mom and dad. Of course, my mom comes flying home from bowling. They call the doctor. The doctor says, and this is a small town, Thursday night, 9 o'clock, 5 beers in situation. Doctor's like, just pour some hot water on it, man. And my mom's like, that isn't going to work. She walks over there, pours some more water on it. Fine, good to go. But I was like, man, I felt like I had the power of persuasion.
I'm so glad I'm the
else.
oldest. I'm so glad I didn't have
You didn't have
that
anybody
situation.
do that on you. Well, so what was the deal? What got stuck? What's going on with Tyson today? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. Thank you for joining the show. We were talking about things that you may have gotten stuck along the way. What's yours, man?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I was getting babysat by my aunt, and I love eating noodles. So we were eating noodles for lunch one day, and all of a sudden, I don't know if I coughed weird or what, but when I was swallowing those noodles, it felt like one went up into my brain, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So I started freaking out, and then all of a sudden I tried blowing my nose, and the noodle was coming out of my nose.
Oh my God.
So I pulled a long noodle straight out of my nostril.
Yeah.
It was the strangest thing.
Isn't it a weird feeling? My friend Zach from high school would do this parlor trick on Scatty Day at school, and he would floss with a noodle. It would come through his nose, out his throat, and he would show all the girls like that would be, this is what's going to get him. But it was so gross.
Goodness.
Yeah.
How long ago was this, Tyson?
I would say it was probably 7 years ago now.
It's still a vivid story the way you explain it. You know what I mean? It hasn't really faded. It's
Felt like it was in my brain.
right. It's
I felt it when you said that.
I got this
Yeah, no, I mean, when it happens, it still happens. So now it's not like a panic anymore. But I don't know.
Well, this has
how it
happened more than
happens.
once. You've had a noodle in the brain?
I think it's happened honestly around 4 to 5 times.
Wow. And you just sneeze when you eat spaghetti or what?
I have no idea. It's a weird thing.
Now, I don't want to
have no clue.
encourage you to do bad things in life, man, but I'm telling you, this is a great party situation. You're at the bar.
Yeah.
This gets you a beer. You're at a party. This gets you somebody else, really, really caring at one
JJ's
point.
always got a limp noodle, so all you have to
All
do is
right, all right, all
Suck it
right.
right in.
Yeah, all right,
Get
all
those
right.
shots.
Yeah. Thanks, Tyson. Weird news.
The only reason why I have this under this specific category is because I think it's really weird when people go snorkeling out in the ocean and then they are surprised that they get bit by a shark.
911, where is your emergency?
We're out of season. Where am I? Out of my son. If I just got bit by a shark in the shoulder,
Is the bleeding controlled right now?
The bleeding is somewhat controlled, basically a big chunk taken out of his shoulder. But
Excuse
it's
me?
a gaping wound, and we could run. It's a 20-minute.
We're starting the boat now to get in there. Okay.
One of the most underwhelmed dispatchers I've ever heard.
She sounds like there's been a shark bite every day she's worked there.
Yeah, she's like, Jan, can you give me another scenario, please?
What happens if you dial 911 because a restaurant got your order wrong?
Calling 911 10 times asking for a ride to Mexico.
I love to give examples of what 911 is not to be used for because sometimes people, they have that gray area in their mind. But a Days Inn guest recently called the New Mexico police because they needed clean towels. So they said to the dispatcher, the front desk is refusing to supply me with fresh linens. Police refused to respond to the call. And then he got the hint. Then he said, maybe I could just go up and grab it myself instead of them having to walk to my room. But
What the problem was, guaranteed, $100 guaranteed that guy was fully naked.
probably.
This happens. I know a girl that used to work at a hotel. She said it happened every weekend.
Where she'd
there
deliver?
There would be a perv that requested either more sheets or towels. And as she showed up on the door, she'd knock, and he'd be standing there in his birthday suit.
Helicopter time.
And the big problem is it's kind of like you can't. It's not an indecent exposure if you're in your own room.
Yeah.
There's
and
like
if you ask them to come to your room,
I can guarantee right now we can get a whole bunch of people that work at hotels that have had this happen to them. It is the grossest thing in the world, man.
I wonder what guys think. Like, she's going to see this and want it.
She's going to fall in
so
love with
badly.
me. Absolutely. That's exactly what they think. I saw a show about this, about flashers. It started, and they chronicled this thing all the way to like the subway flashers of the 70s in New York City, the guys that would wear trench coats, and then they'd see a girl walk by and they just whip open their trench coat. There's something about that fascination of somebody seeing your things. It ain't me, but I'm just like
They're weird looking, man. They're weird looking.
completely utilitarian.
Yeah.
Just for getting the job done.
And that's what's weird.
You ready for the game?
Ready.
The game is the most smartest girl in the world. And so I developed it thinking about Kat has her avenues of excellence. Alayna has hers. I want to see amongst our audience who the most smartest girl in the world is. So here's how the game works. Looks like Jenny and Heather are the first two through. Hi, Jenny. How you feeling?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. On a scale of 1 to genius, how smart do you think you are?
I would say probably like an 8.
Okay, so well above average, so you might want to take this on yourself. So I'll explain the rules here in a second, as we also welcome Heather to the show. Heather, what's good? What are you up to?
Good morning. Heading to work.
Excellent. I appreciate you being on the show, Heather. So here's what's going to happen. Jenny, since you're first through, and I'll tell everybody the subject real quick today. The subject today is animals. All right, the subject is animals. Now, for reference, Kat had said once in her life she wished she would have become a zoologist.
Yes.
But on the other hand, Alayna has grown up with many more animals and is currently an animal mom. So, Jenny, you were the first through. Who's your partner today? Will it be Kat or Alayna?
I'm going to pick Alayna because she's frisky and likes to eat random meat sticks.
Okay. She eats random meat sticks.
That's what you're basing it off of. Good luck.
Great justification. Okay. So, Jenny, you'll be paired up with Alayna, and Heather, you'll be paired up with Kat. But before we get to the questions, Jenny, you've got to decide who's going to answer the questions. Will it be you, self-admittedly, almost a genius, or our friend Alayna with the meat sticks here?
I'll answer.
Okay, Alayna, you can take a seat back and excuse yourself and just think about how many questions you would have gotten right that Jenny may miss. Now, Heather, on the other hand, will it be you or Kat vying for the title of most smartest girl in the world?
I think I'll take it.
Oh, all right. So take
collar against
you guys,
collar.
Yep,
Okay.
You guys sit back. Now, here's how this works. Jenny and Heather, it's the first 1 to 5. If you miss, the other person gets your point. So don't spout off too early. Now, what's going to happen here is your name is your buzzer. So when you think you know the right answer, scream out Jenny or Heather. And the first 1 to 5 wins.
So if they're wrong, can I say the answer and then I get the point?
No, but you can say the answer and prove that you were smarter than them and they should have taken you as their player. I know you'll have no problem with that whatsoever. So, ladies, first question, and remember, your voice is your buzzer. Jenny and Heather, for the title of most smartest girl in the world, what is the collective name for a group of lions?
Heather.
Heather, it is.
A pride.
A pride is right. All right, Heather, up 1-0. Question number 2. Jenny and Heather, what type of animal is a Mexican hairless? Nobody? Okay, question does not go for a point for somebody else, but you can guess randomly. Go.
No idea.
Neither. It's a dog, guys. A Mexican hairless dog. All right, Heather's still up 1-0. Heather, Jenny, for the title of the most smartest girl in the world, what kind of creature is a Portuguese man-o-war?
Heather.
Heather, it is.
A jellyfish.
Wow,
Nice.
well done. Whew. Jenny, an uphill battle on the way as Heather is up 2-0.
Quick question. Out of all three of us, who would you have urinate on you?
Oh,
to take
yeah.
that
If you got
pain away?
stung, who would you want to pee on you?
Probably Cat.
Yeah. So I was going to talk earlier about how my new multivitamin is like making my urine neon yellow. And so I had to Google research. And
Sure that's not all the time you're spending in Becker?
totally normal. No, but we did have to sign a waiver to live around there. So
All right, guys. 2-0 is the score. Heather's winning right now for the title of most smartest girl in the world. Come on, Jenny. I'm rooting for you. How many legs does a lobster have?
Jenny.
Jenny.
I'm going to say 4.
No. Heather, you get the point. Did you want to guess anyways?
The 8.
No. Kat, as the person who's eaten more lobster than any other human I've seen at a single
It is
setting,
8.
It's 10. Most lobsters have 10
oh, that's their
legs.
arms. You said legs.
It's all appendages.
Their legs is
Heather's up 3-0. Jenny, you're going to have to do some work here. For the title of most smartest girl in the world, what type of animal is a Flemish giant?
Heather. Jenny.
Heather first. What is it?
Is it a rabbit?
It is a rabbit. Wow. Heather, we found your honey hole. One more question right gets you the title of most smartest girl in the world. Jenny, you got a lot of work to do, so here's a question. This one's easy, guys. Get ready. Your name is your buzzer. What is a male swan called? Wow. All right. You guys can guess without penalty. Go.
I have no idea.
Nobody. Ladies, Alayna, Kat, either you guys know?
a male swan.
A male swan.
Is it called a cob?
A cob? You just Googled
No, I
it.
didn't. I've always known.
Shut up!
The
See, you guys, you can't. You're lying. I can tell. Her upper lip turns up. She's like, it's a cob.
Oh, does it?
So nobody gets that one. All right, Heather, one more for the win. Ladies, how many arms do most starfish have?
Jenny.
Jenny, I heard first. Jenny, it is?
5.
5. Nice job. All right. Next question. Heather, one more for the win. Jenny, still trying to catch up. What type of animal is an impala?
Heather.
Heather, it is?
Is it an alpaca?
That's a point for Jenny. Kat, Alayna, you know?
It's like a cat.
It's an
right?
antelope.
Oh.
All right.
A primate, right? An elephant?
What is that, a monkey? All right, so Jenny, 2, Heather, 4. For the title of most smartest girl in the world, ladies, which adjective is used to describe a horse with 2 different colored patches, usually black and white? Okay, you can guess without penalty.
Speckled?
A what?
Speckled?
No. Any other guesses out there?
No idea.
Piebald. Piebald.
Oh.
So nobody gets that. All right. This is going a lot longer than I thought it would. Ladies, let's clean it up here. Hopefully, last question. For the most smartest girl in the world title, which is the largest mammal in the world?
Heather?
Heather, it is?
An elephant?
No.
Rhymes with shmoosh male.
Yeah, it's a blue whale.
Oh, shoot.
All right, guys. I don't have a whole lot of questions printed out
Here's
here.
one. What animal makes this noise?
Heather?
Heather, it is?
A cat.
Yeah! We got a winner! And Heather, you have managed to nail down the most smartest girl in the world title. Now, Heather, what I'd like to do is invite you back to the show next Friday to defend your honor. Is that something you'd like to do, or are you just super sick of this and you just never want anything to do with it again?
She said, sure, let's take it.
Okay, we'll get your details off the air, and then we'll bring you on next Friday so you can defend your title as most smartest girl in the world. Heather, congratulations. Jenny, great effort today. Let's give it up for Jenny, everybody. Please give it up for Jenny, everybody. Thank you.
Download the podcast.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend immediately.
And hey, we have more podcast episodes available, so go check them out right now. Do it. Come on, do it. Seriously, do it.